On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, the TSA laughs at mile-long line. Trump meets with Henry Kissinger for foreign policy advice, and Pope Francis says Jesus is likened to ISIS. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. For the week of May the 23rd, 2016, this is first article here. It's an article by Kid Daniels. Most of it's a video. The other part is the actual video for the Infowars Nightly News. So, technically, Anyway, the title is called Passenger. TSA laughed at mile-long lines. TSA It stood around and cracked jokes while passengers wait over 4 hours. And folks, they are doing this all over the country too. TSA laughed at long lines of passengers waiting for over 4 hours to pass the security, according to a passenger. Infowars producer Regina, sorry if I get your name wrong, miss, but I haven't had time to read your name, so, an Infowars producer, let's just call her that, who boarded a plane at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport over the weekend and revealed that the TSA mocked the thousands of passengers missing their flights while standing in a mile-long line. They were being very nonchalant, and they found humor in the situation, she said. They were leaning up against their stations and joking when I came up to and asked them about the long lines. They tried to make it seem like it was no big deal. And basically here's a video here, and also here is a clip about that.
To create chaos. France has declared for 2 months their highway system is, quote, in collapse, with mass robberies every night, cars being carjacked. I mean, it's bedlam. People say, why are the governments doing this? Because they're going to get more power and control and all these new federal global highway police out of it. So this is what they're doing. It's the exact same plan here. Please continue with what happened to you. So they tell you they don't care. In your words, how are they acting? How long did this block you? When did you finally get a flight back to Tejas?
I finally got a flight. I got standby today at 7 in the morning. So they told me come in at 3:30 because that's when TSA opens. And I went to the airport at 4 in the morning and it was still packed. People had been staying there overnight. Cots were out and everything. And it took me an hour and a half that time to go through TSA. So I'm glad I went early because I would have missed that flight as well. But when you got up to them, they were all super happy and just chill, and they didn't care that there was a 4-hour line. And
that's because they're told to do it to get raises. It's a criminal organization. A third of their employees have been caught routinely stealing. They rob your prescription medicine. It's incredible.
Yeah, you didn't see them feel bad for anybody. They were just enjoying their job, and it was very there was not enough people to work. They didn't even have bins, and then they brought in a canine, and they didn't even use him. They were just there, and they didn't care about everybody. And it made me feel really mad because I was
what Mel Brooks says, though? It's good to be the king. I'm sorry. You said it made you feel bad because you're a bad person?
I'm a nice person.
No, you're very nice. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah. So it made you feel bad to have them just so nonchalant?
Yeah, it's why are you being so nonchalant about something that shouldn't even be happening? People should be moving. And then I read an article saying that they were blaming the people for not being ready.
Oh, I know. They said you're bad. I saw that article. TSA says the people are bad, even though they admit they're just standing down. Well, listen, it gets worse. Remember the ad they put in Seattle 2 years ago that said, we want you to be aggressive and imperious and rude. Imperious means arrogant and royal. And so they're telling him to just be royal. Total arrogance. Mm-hmm. There it is, News Channel 8. NBC, TSA blames you for longer lines at airport security checkpoints.
Okay, thank you. As I've said before in the past, and if anybody else can remember it, there has been multiple times where I said that the TSA has never caught a terrorist. That is true. I've also said that basically they're hiding pedophiles and sex offenders and God knows what else, which is also a plus on that too. But this is exactly what they want. I mean, do you remember what happened? Happened when the Texas legislature said that basically they were going to take out the TSA, and the TSA came out and said basically, you know, we're going to basically blockade you if you do that. I hope everybody remembers that. These people are nothing but absolute crooks. And we need to tell them, and all the Congress, if they have any backbones, that we're not going to take it anymore. People are literally absolutely furious. Okay, how much is the second article here? It's an article written by Steve Watts, and the title is called, Trump meets with Kissinger on foreign policy advice. Dude, bad move there, son. Underneath it says, face-to-face with session comes after 2 weeks of phone conversations. The Washington Post reports the presidential GOP nominee Donald Trump is to meet with Bilderberg campaign Henry Kissinger this week in order to tap his expertise on foreign policy. President Clinton said that the two will discuss all aspects of foreign policy, but will particularly focus on China, the Post reports. And you can see what the Post report meeting will get to become a passage for many ambitious Republicans, especially those who land on a party political ticket. Yeah, that's a bad choice there, Mr. Trump. Really bad choice there, buddy. The move by Trump's campaign is a strange one, given that he has been billed as the ultimate anti-establishment outsider, and Kissinger is the biggest Washington insider there is. The reports also suggest that while Trump has discouraged globalism as a false song, he is beginning to lean towards a more realistic view of international affairs, a la Kissinger. To Trump's conference with Kissinger underscores not only how he is building relationship with the Republican elders and others, but how he leans toward the more realist views of international affairs, the report states. It will be interesting to keep a tab on Trump's whereabouts next month, and whether if he decided to go to Disgrin, Germany, the site of the annual Bilderberg confab, might be a good idea. In recent times, Kissinger has hinted that he would like to see Hillary Clinton as the next president. Henry Kissinger's book makes a compelling case for why he has to do it and how we succeed, Clinton wrote. I mean, basically, folks, I wouldn't trust this guy, even with a birthday party, let alone foreign policy. The guy's the biggest globalist in history, and he wants to bring the country down. Why would you do that, man? Come on! Looks like we'll have to keep our eyes on Mr. Trump from now on. I mean, this is very, very troubling. But enough about that. This is the final article of the day here, and it's an article written by Kit Daniels. It used to be the Red Link article as well, if I do say so myself. But anyway, the title is called Pope Francis likened Jesus to ISIS. Says Muslim must breed with Europeans. That is not good. Underneath it says, Francis claims ISIS is similar to Jesus, sending his disciples to all nations. You know something, buddy? How about you take a nice long look at yourself, buddy? Or you just be quiet, okay? In a shocking interview, Pope Francis likened Jesus Christ to ISIS and said Muslim immigrants must breed with Europeans to counter declining birth rates. Today, I don't think that there is a fear of Islam such as but of ISIS, but it is a war of conquest, which is partly drawn from Islam, he told the French newspaper À la carte. It is true that the idea of conquest is inherent in the soul of Islam. However, it is also possible to interpret the objective in Matthew's Gospel, where Jesus sent out his disciples to all nations in terms of the same idea of conquest, which is not true, Mr. Pope. The Pope said that he dreaded hearing about the question roots of Europe because to him they take on the colonialistic overtones, and he called all European nations integrated Muslim immigrants into the continent. How about you take some of those Muslim immigrants, you fool? Oh wait, I forgot. You have those walls up above your tower, you monkey. The integration is forced, all necessary, is more necessary and today, since as a result of selfish search of well-being, Europe is exploring the grave problem of a declining birth rate. Well, maybe they wouldn't be declining if you could actually let them have more kids. And also lower taxes. A demographic emphasis in developing. Alright, folks, I will not read anymore, but here's a clip about that.
So I never got into Catholic bashing. But man, this guy, he's not a Catholic. And he just literally sounds like Mao Zedong married Bill Clinton and had a baby, with Hillary or something. I mean, it's so horrible. But he goes even further, saying, likening Jesus to ISIS, and says Muslims must breed with Europeans. This article's up on Infowars.com. He claims ISIS similar to Jesus, sending his disciples to all nations. Yeah, that is so blasphemous. Sounds like something, out of like a Linda Blair. The terrorists are like Jesus killing their mothers in hell. I mean, Joe Biggs, what do you make? These are actual quotes in a major French newspaper. What do you think he's trying to do here?
I don't know. I just know that that's what Trudeau is going to be like from Canada when he gets older. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, that guy's out there in left field as well. I mean, the Pope is out of control. When you see,
he says open the borders, but he's got 200-foot walls.
But he's sitting there telling us that, if you insult Islam, that's bad. If you don't take these people in, that's bad.
While they're cutting Catholic priest heads off all over the Middle East.
I mean, how many refugees has he taken in? And then you're going to sit here and liken Jesus to ISIS? I mean, you're contradicting yourself. You're sitting here going after people because they're not being tolerant of radical Islam, or they're not being tolerant of all Muslims because they might be scared that a bad one can
Jesus was tolerant. Jesus is the opposite of Al-Qaeda, ISIS. The Pope is like an abomination. He is the most blaspheming. Can you believe the Pope is actually saying that Christ is like ISIS?
All right, thank you. This is very troubling, folks. If this doesn't basically scream out false prophet, I don't know what does. I mean, he's probably the qualifications of it. At least in the top 3. He has to be in the top 3 of people who's going to be this false prophet that we've been hearing about in the book of Revelations. It's coming to a head, folks. I'm telling you. And I'm reading comments that are saying basically, Infowars is trying to smear the Pope or some other crazy junkster. I mean, this is actually real people. He really did say that. And you just heard what Al Jones said about him on the clip you just heard. He really is saying it. He's nothing but pure evil. He's a Jesuit and a communist. So that's all I can say on the subject. Well, that's all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like to read more about these articles, please go to the links below or go to Infowars.com or PleasurePlanet.com. There you can find hundreds of articles just like this one I have read for you today. This is the Infowars News Mix. I'm Infowars. I'm a film number 3. Please like, subscribe, and donate. Bye-bye.